I'm Matt Ward and this is the People's Orchestra and Show Choir podcast, and I'm really excited to share that from this month onwards I'll be joined by Chris Webber as my co-host. Hey Chris.
Hi Matt, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Lovely. And each month we'll be bringing you stories from across the TPO and TPSC community, letting you know what's happening now and looking ahead to what's coming up.
In this episode, we hear from Lorna Parkhouse and Philip Field, who reflect on how things are shaping up for the Wolverhampton choir under new leadership.
And Julian Powell returns to talk about the Rusty Players Orchestra and what's coming up for them over the summer.
And of course, we'll be talking about walking choirs. But first, over to Chris for August's
The word of the month is staccato. It comes from the Italian word meaning detached or disconnected. In the context of music, it means that you should play the notes sharply, short, and completely detached from the notes before and after it. This is the polar opposite of playing legato, which is another type of articulation telling the musician to play the notes smoothly and connected.
I do love that segment, Chris. Now, Pina Colada Girl took her microphone out to record some of the reactions from participants in the walking choir. So let's have a listen to those. And then you can catch us up on what's going on with that, Chris.
Hiya, I'm Becky and I've been coming to the walking choir since it started and I've only missed a few weeks. It's been fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and just some mornings, even in the cold mornings over the winter, you thought maybe I don't want to, but as soon as you come along, Chris's enthusiasm and the good fun songs that we're singing, I've thoroughly enjoyed it and I am going to miss it. Hopefully maybe in the future things will happen, or maybe a few of us can get together for some walks, because that's been really important to me. Just getting out on a Saturday morning for that hour of walk has set me up for the day, really.
Hello, I'm Marianne. I also came on the walking choir for most of the year. Used to get me out of bed mainly on a Saturday morning. And believe it or not, we only had 1 or 2 rainy days. I think there was once when it got called off, once when we walked in the rain. But most of it has been bright sunshine, and that's tremendous for your soul, really. But my main memory was arriving, and not many here for a while, and talking to a fisherman that was right next to the lake. And he promised me faithfully he'd be here every week, and I only ever saw him once. But the wonderful thing was that they'd been camping in the cold overnight, and they'd got everything in their tent, including hot cross buns, cups of tea, biscuits, and they promised me they'd be there the next week to give me the same. I was so disappointed. But we had great fun, and always have, on the walk round, and met lots of lovely people.
Hiya, I'm Charlotte. I've been coming on and off since the walking choir started. I would say if anyone was thinking of doing something similar, to go ahead and do it. It's been a really fun experience. You get to meet different people. You have a laugh when you're walking round. You don't have to be a good singer. It's all about just taking part and having fun, getting moving, getting active. And you don't think about it as well when you're doing it, because you're sort of in the music and you're just focusing on that. So yeah, it passes an hour of doing exercise, which, you wouldn't normally think about doing. So definitely a good thing to start and do.
Thanks, Matt. So it's a bittersweet, really, because sadly, that's the end of the walking choirs.
Oh, no.
And yeah, possibly forever, actually. To be honest, we always knew that it was going to be a 1-year thing.
Right.
We were funded originally for 30 weeks to do it after we did the pilot scheme, and we always were hoping that we'd be able to get more funding.
Yeah.
To keep it going. But sadly, all the funding criteria has changed, and it's kind of meant that we've no longer been able to secure the funding to keep it going, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, I mean, it went longer than that 30 weeks, though, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, we managed to eke out the funding to keep it going. I think we probably did about 36 weeks in total, something like that. But it was great. It was really good fun, because obviously we had the staff. Yeah. So I got to know people that were working with us week in, week out, really, really well. Some of those people were from our choirs anyway, so I kind of knew them already. But we had a couple of people who I'd never met before who weren't part of our choirs. And it was really nice to get to know them and work together on the project. So that was a really nice aspect of the whole thing. But also just the joy and the exercise that we gave to, all the people that had taken part throughout. And actually, it was quite an interesting little recruitment process anyway, because I think we've probably got about 5 people now who are singing in our evening choirs.
Yeah.
That started off with the walking choir and got to know people who were singing in our regular choirs.
Choir,
yeah. So it's been good like that.
And what about other participants in the choir? I mean, what have you heard and who's benefited from it? And are there any great stories of people that have thanked you for putting it together? Or
Yes. So, we have, again, I'm not going to mention any names, but we've had people who are carers who have really enjoyed coming out on a Saturday morning and having that time to themselves, where they've been able to just immerse themselves with the headphones in the music, in the singing, and just really get away from it all whilst walking through fabulous scenery and singing along and, just having a really good time. We've also got a member of staff who, sadly, her husband died during COVID, and she has immersed herself in doing lots of things within the communities voluntarily. So, she volunteers at the new Metropolitan Hospital. I think she does 2 or 3 days a week there. She does lots of other voluntary work. She doesn't get paid for any of it. And she does it because she loves it. She does it because it keeps her engaged. And, so having the opportunity to do some extra things on a Saturday morning, I think has just been really valuable for so many people. I'll be perfectly honest with you, it was great for me for losing weight as well.
I mean, having that kind of motivation is brilliant, isn't it? I mean, I haven't been to one of the walking choirs, but I tend to do either a cycle or a walk or run every year. But as I get older, I find it really sort of helps me to keep motivated and actually get some training in.
It's funny you should say that, because as I've got older, my aches and pains are getting more pronounced and constant. So
wait till you get to my age, mate.
So it became quite a standing joke, actually, in the walking choirs that always on the first session, my back would be in pieces. Josh would always do the warm-up. We always did a physical warm-up before we did any walking. And he always did these exercises that I just called, well, we all ended up calling it sciatica central, because it just literally destroyed my back. And then it was a regular occurrence that as I was driving from Swanpool to Halesowen for the next session, Josh in the car with me would be putting a message onto the staff WhatsApp group chat asking someone for the next session to bring ibuprofen for me. So it became quite it was very enjoyable. And I am sad that it's going. But, in a little way, we've left a bit of a legacy. So there's a small group of people who have decided they're going to stay in touch and they're going to keep meeting on a Saturday morning at Swanpool. And although they're not going to be doing the singing, they're going to do the walk following the route that we normally did and, have a little bit of a walk together. So I think that's really, really lovely. But, all things must come to an end.
Yeah. Will those people be willing to have other maybe newcomers to a walk come and join them?
I think so, absolutely. Yeah. If anybody listening is interested in just walking with some lovely sociable people, then get in touch and I will put you in contact with them.
Brilliant. So what else is going on over the summer?
Well, Matt, we've had a really busy one. This July has been our first ever time where every choir leader has put on loads of local choir events. And I think we spoke about it last podcast.
We did, yeah.
And they're all done now, and they were great. Yeah. So even, my choirs, I do the 3 choirs, Halesowen, Sutton Coldfield and Choir Brigade. And we combined those to do a concert last Sunday, actually, the 20th of July, at the Sutton Coldfield Town Hall. And we had 300 people in the audience, and we had 180 singing, and we had a band playing. And it was fantastic.
That's a lot of people, isn't it? 300.
Yeah, really, really good. And it was great. And all the choir leaders have been doing their own local concerts. It's been really wonderful. The reason we did that was just to engage with local communities more, to try and move the organisation away from being very central from head office to being much more community-based. But then moving forward into the summer, the choirs are doing a trip to York on the 2nd of August, and we're going to be singing in an area called Acombe, which is where the local York show choir rehearses. And then we're going to have a half day out in York. I love York. I grew up in Doncaster, so every time we had family over from Poland, we'd take them for a day out to York. Yeah. Fabulous city. And then
I've only driven through York, but it looks absolutely beautiful.
Matt, let me tell you, next time you're driving through York, don't keep driving, stop and have a little wander around. It's fantastic, really, really brilliant. There's so much to see and do. Even if you just walk along the city walls, it's brilliant. Yeah. So that's that. And then we're doing something very different on the 16th of August, which is a busking trip down to London.
Oh, cool.
And we're going to do some singing in Woodford. We're going to do some singing in Wimbledon. We're going to have a picnic at St James Park. We're going to do a little photo outside Buckingham Palace.
And that's Westminster. Just anywhere that starts with a W, really, isn't it?
Apart from Oxford Street, although we could call it Woxford Street if that helps.
That's Westminster too.
Yes, and we're going to have dinner there. So that's going to be a really exciting day as well.
Oh, that's great. Excellent. And of course, it's not all about choirs, is it? So we've also got the orchestral stuff going on. And we've just been joined by Julian Powell here. Hey, Julian.
Hi there. How you doing?
Yeah, very good. So we've invited you on this month so that you can tell us about what's been going on with the Rusties.
All right. It's coming to the end of my first year with Rusties, and it's been quite a transformative year, actually. I believe that's a good word to use. In the year, we've done a number of concerts and performances, about 4 or 5, actually, which is quite well. We will do it at the end of this weekend. Both groups have moved venues. Both groups have had changes of personnel. Black Country, more than anything else, that we did go through a period where we'd have a new person, at least one new person every week. But it was quite spooky because I would joke about the next person coming or from what section, and then they would come the next week. So it's like, oh wow. Okay. I should have said something like, and the next person will bring me £1 million.
Tell the universe what you want. Yeah, brilliant. So where are the two Rusties orchestras then?
One is in South Birmingham. They rehearse out of King Edward's Girls' School. Okay. And the other one is in Bilston now. The Black Country one is now in Bilston, and they rehearse out of the Excel Church in Bilston.
Okay.
And what level do you need to be to play in a Rusties orchestra?
I'd say from about beginner to about possibly up to about grade 6-ish maybe.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's a big range.
It is, yeah. It is quite a wide range because we, being one of the arrangers and as well, we actually do cater music for people a lot more now. There's been quite a few times where I've just said, okay, leave it with me. I'll sort that part out and rearrange it. It's like, there you go. That's fun. But and it works on both levels as well because we had a mother and daughter who have joined recently, and they're very good players. And there's some things I was thinking, oh man, they're not going to stick around for this. And it's like, oh wait, you play that as well? All right, give me a week. Well, yeah, come back next week, and then I'll just do a piece, and it's like, oh, this is a bit of a challenge. There you go.
So how do you do that, Julian, to make sure? Because obviously the divide between a beginner and someone who's grade 5 or 6 is quite large. So how do you keep the beginners from finding it not too difficult and the grade 5, 6 players from finding it not too easy?
With the beginners, I tell them it's more about the patience, because when you first start, because there are people who can come in who have been getting back into playing, and they, after a few weeks, they're feeling themselves, and it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, I've got it now, I'm fine. And then there'll be some people who will be struggling with a lot of stuff, and it's actually, I just tell them it's part of their journey as they're learning. I'm trying not to name names or anything, because that does sound like it's a bit isolationist. It is part of their journey, and you can actually see the growth in their playing, because it's with both groups. I believe it's really closely linked to their confidence levels. Yeah, and that's the main thing I've seen this year, that the confidence levels of both groups just grow tremendously.
I think this is fantastic, the Rusties, to be able to come in at whatever level and be part of that.
I love it. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And what you talk about with confidence, as a choir leader myself, that really resonates with me, because with community choirs, non-auditioned choirs, a lot of people who join us have never sung before, other than in the shower. But in a way, in a choir, it's quite easy to hide. Whereas in an orchestra, there is no hiding. So I would imagine that the job that you have as an orchestra leader and a conductor, that aspect of building confidence when there is nowhere to hide has got to be really important.
Yeah, it is. And it relates to my work anyway, because I teach drum kit in schools, and the majority of the students that I have do not own drum kits. They just come once a week for a lesson, and they've got to get better. So I've had lots of practice in that. Hey, trust me, this will work. Give it time. It's a lot of actual patience building. But the one thing that I do like to get across to them is that it's about making the mistakes. The mistakes are actually part of the process, because a lot of the times people are just trying to be perfect, which if you're perfect, you're not learning. That means you already know the thing. So what's the point in playing what you already know?
But that's a journey. I know from learning, bass guitar and guitar myself is that you have to put in the practice to get there.
Yeah.
So Matt, sorry, just really let me interject there. I think Rusty's could do with a bass guitarist.
We have a bass guitarist.
You need another one. You need another one. Matt needs somewhere to play.
I'd have to do it by remote. I'm down in Margate. It's a good point, though. Actually, presumably anybody's welcome if they sign up. But do you have like lots of clarinets and not enough violas, or what are you particularly looking out for if anybody's listening and thinking they would like to become part of the?
We orchestra? Could definitely do with strings, just like with the People's Orchestra. We struggle with strings, but we've noticed, because there are two other Rusty groups in Wales, and there was a joint concert last year, and we noticed with the Wales groups, both of those groups have lots of strings. Right. And we realised what it actually was is because Wales is a brass band country, so there's lots of brass bands, not many amateur orchestras. Whereas the Midlands, lots of amateur orchestras. Right. So we do struggle for strings. We've got some in the Black Country. We have one in the South Birmingham. I don't know if you can count the harp and the bass guitar as strings. In fact, if you can count all of the strings on their instruments, we've got lots. But no, strings we do struggle for. Okay. We've had quite a lot of brass come in, and there's always saxophone.
Oh, well, there you go. Anybody listening that would like to, that learned violin at school or hasn't picked up a cello for years, get yourself on eBay, get yourself a little second-hand instrument, and come along and join the Rusty's Orchestra. Julian will make you feel very welcome. Thanks so much, Julian. This has been brilliant catching up with you. Thanks for telling us about Rusty's.
You too. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And well, hopefully we will catch up with you later this year or early in the next.
Okay. All right. It's great to talk to you guys again.
You too. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Little notes
from the heart. From the heart.
Everybody's great, but I particularly like to point out Ula and Baz. Without them, we would be nowhere, and it makes it look forward to every week. They make it such fun, and I have some challenges in my life, so it's quite good to be able to get out and sing my heart out and just make me feel good. So thanks to Ula and Baz.
I'd like to say thank you to Heather for always putting out a comfy chair for me for rehearsals. It's so thoughtful and so much appreciated. Thank you, Heather.
I want to thank Sue Turner. I do have a lot of problems, sometimes very much a lot of problems. When I come out on stage and I sing well, she sees it and she gives me a lot of respect as a fellow singer, and that really makes me feel good.
Little notes from the heart. From the heart. Our Wolverhampton choir has seen its previous 2 choir leaders leave because they've moved to London to progress their careers. We have brought in our resident megastar choir leader, Lorna Parkhouse, to take on that challenge.
And I had a chat with Lorna and long-standing member Philip Field just the other day. Here's what they had to say about it. Hi Lorna. Hi Phil.
Hi.
Hello, good morning.
So Lorna, you already lead the Shrewsbury Choir and do it brilliantly, so I hear. Okay. But now you've taken on Wolverhampton as well. What persuaded you to say yes to the added responsibility?
Ultimately Chris. But actually, it is something we had long discussions about because I do work quite a lot of evenings. I had to weigh up whether this was going to be right for me absolutely long term, because one of the things with Wolverhampton is they've had a lot of change. And if I was saying yes, I needed to say yes and for it to be a permanent thing. So partly Chris did do a good job on talking me around. But to be fair, he gave me the space I said I needed and the time I said I needed to really consider the decision, because I didn't want this to be another snap decision. I want to be in front of them knowing I'm going to be there a long time.
Yeah. So what are the first few rehearsals been like? Has there been any surprises? And how different is it from the other choirs that you lead?
Well, that's a really interesting question. I think the surprises have been more on the choir's part, and I'll let Phil talk about that, I think. Okay. But I am conscious that I am quite pacey, I think it's fair to say. So, yes, Phil's definitely smiling and nodding at this point. I work in quite a fast-paced way. I try to involve all of the choir in all of the sections of the rehearsal. So right. I don't just wholly focus on kind of the altos for 10 or 15 minutes. I'll do a little phrase from each part and then I'll blend them together. So the concentration level from the choir has had to increase a little bit throughout the rehearsal, because I need them to sing on the notice of a, right, 3, 4, you're in, whereas before they were used to having longer in between their singing, I think. So I think my style's been a little bit different for them.
Okay. How's that been for you, Phil?
It's been really good. I mean, I've known Lorna for a while, mainly because she's our pianist, as you probably know, at all our massed events. Mm-hmm. But I've had the privilege of singing a couple of times at Shrewsbury, so I kind of know Lorna's way of working. So I was delighted that she was coming to Wolverhampton, but I think the others were in for a little bit of a shock.
Right.
People were saying at the end of the first rehearsal, I'm exhausted. I ache. My lungs have had a workout. So it was, but it was good. But I think now they're really used to her way of doing things. So it's good. It's all good.
Yeah, I think we had a few comments at the end of that first rehearsal saying, I've never stood up so much in rehearsal.
Oh, really?
I had them up, I had them moving. They were just used to sitting, and I work in a very different way.
Yes, like a can of Red Bull.
I mean, we've talked to other choir leaders that run multiple choirs, and they've said that each choir has a different personality. Are you finding the same?
Oh, very much so, and I'm very much trying to treat them as completely independently. They are completely different.
Yeah.
They have started to team up beautifully, and I'm creating, I think I used the phrase mega choir when they fully get together. It is absolutely awesome. But they are completely different. And what was really lovely, I think it took until about week 3 or 4 with Wolves that I was able to say, right, now I can see all of your personalities shining through. Now I can see you laughing within the songs, having little jokes with each other, feeling comfortable enough to move a little bit and really having fun. And as soon as the personalities start to come out, that's when the choir really starts to shape how the feel of it, of it all.
Absolutely,
yeah. And does it help having, I know you've got a lot of new members at Wolverhampton now. How does that help with sort of having brand new members who haven't experienced a previous choir leader?
They probably don't know any differently, to be fair. I mean, I've had many choir leaders. Chris is one of my choir leaders, but I think we'll leave that there. No, we all love Chris. We all love Chris.
He's listening in.
But all choir leaders have a different style. And I guess if you haven't been in a choir before and Lorna's your first leader, you don't know any different, but I think it's a bigger shock for the people that have had other choir leaders, and because it really is a fast-paced learning experience. So the new guys, I think, just accept it as what it is, and we all kind of gel together because it's like a little family, really. It really is.
Is that the deciding aspect that keeps you there, Phil, or is it something else?
Well, I'm a member of Hales Owen Choir. I've also sung with West Brom, but I love Wolverhampton. It's the nearest choir to where I live, but that's by no means the reason why I stay there. It's just such good fun, and we've kind of really gelled. And we are like a small family. Everybody gets on. There's no kind of animosity there. There's no one trying to be, look at me, I'm the better singer. We just all get on really, really well. And since Lorna started, that's become even tighter, I feel. And now we kind of think we're a part of the Shrewsbury family as well, because we've done a couple of gigs together. They come down and surprise us. We sneak up there and sing with them. And it's just really good. Yeah. Really good fun.
Oh, it does sound like great fun. So, Phil, you'll be able to tell us better. You've been there kind of how many years with Wolverhampton?
However many years it's been going, I was there.
So you've been from the beginning?
Day one, yeah.
So how has that changed from the beginning till now?
From day one, it's always been a lovely little choir. But now they seem to have more confidence than they've ever had. I think I can tell that they now believe in themselves more. They actually believe that they can sound really good. I think the acoustic of where we're now rehearsing helps. It's incredible. The sound is incredible. It's also incredibly loud if you make a mistake. But we try not to. But I just think there's a lot more enthusiasm and excitement in the choir now. We've got lots of gigs lined up, and I just think they can't wait to get there on a Wednesday.
Brilliant.
It's just really good fun now. I mean, it's always been good fun, but it's like we're moving forward. I think that's how we all feel. We feel like we're actually moving forward now.
You're actually on a journey to something.
On a journey,
great.
That's the best way of describing it.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's a brilliant way to sell the choir to anybody that wants to be a member. What would you say, Lorna, to encourage people to join?
I would totally agree with all of that, and it's lovely to hear it from a singer's perspective. I think one of the other things that I'm trying to make a difference with Wolverhampton is to do more local performances. Yes. So rather than just focus on those 2 combined performances a year, to really start making an impact in Wolverhampton, to be the choir that people call upon for events and things. So we have had a couple of bookings now, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Got another big one in the diary, a local concert in Wolverhampton for Christmas as well. And they're starting to come in. We did a big, it's called Technol Village, but it's a massive village. We did Technol Village Fate a couple of weeks ago, which is huge. They literally do it on Technol Green. They close the road in between the green. There are stalls and DJs. And
that was fantastic.
It was absolutely brilliant. And seeing the choir, seeing their confidence, seeing their enjoyment at the prospect of performing, and the fact that they now know they're good and they're inviting their family and friends. You know, we looked out into the audience, it was full of choir, family and friends, picnicking, listening to us, standing up and dancing, singing along. And that is a change even I've noticed during this term.
It's a real confidence boost. They now believe that they can do it. As you say, they invite their friends, their family. It was fantastic. And the Lord Mayor loved us too.
He did. The Mayor of Wolverhampton is very interested in booking us again. So
Brilliant. Oh, well, look, all the success for the future to both of you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us today.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you very much.
And remember, if you'd like to see for yourself what it's like to be part of one of our choirs or orchestras, September will be the perfect time to give it a go. Whether you're an experienced musician or just love to sing and play for fun, you can try it out with our 2-week free trial. Visit thepeoplesorchestra.com and click the 2 weeks free button to find your nearest choir or orchestra, or drop us an email at hello@thepeoplesorchestra.com. We'd love to welcome you.
Remember too that alongside all of the fun that we have playing and singing, there is the serious work that we do as a charity. So if you can afford to make a small donation, please head to thepeoplesorchestra.com, click on the donate button in the top menu and give what you can.
And if you've got some spare time and would like to volunteer to help out with organising any of our concerts, get in touch through the website, thepeoplesorchestra.com.
Coming up in August,
just a reminder, we embark on our summer extracurricular activities, which for our choirs include a day out to York and a really exciting travelling and busking day around London.
Meanwhile, our individual choirs and orchestras have now finished for the summer and will begin gearing back up to get going at the start of September.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the People's Orchestra and Show Choir podcast.
In next month's episode, Chris and I will be talking about an amazing new initiative to help raise money for the charity, the People's Orchestra Charity Lottery, and some great interviews with people who are integral to the organisation.
So visit our website, thepeoplesorchestra.com, and follow the People's Orchestra and the People's Show Choir social media channels.
And if you would like to find out more about how I can help you with making a podcast for your organisation, take a look at my website, audioeditingsecrets.com, and follow my social media, which is Audio Editing Secrets on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and TikTok. I've been Matt Ward.
And I've been Chris Webber.
And thank you for listening.